Well, welcome back to the Bank Shot DJs podcast with your host, Matt the Shrine Shriner, and my buddy, Denny Holtz, Jacob Denny Holtz. We got a special episode today, Cougs only, and I'm going to let Denny introduce our guest here.
What's going on, everyone? Wednesday, March 6th, 6:26 p.m. We got a special episode in store for us. It's special time in the Palouse, and we got to be talking about it. And today we have a guest star. Man needs no introduction. He's a lifelong Coug. I'm going to let him kind of give his background, his story. We got our boy, Director of Basketball Operations at Washington State University Basketball, Alex Yano.
Hey, fellas, really appreciate you guys, allowing me to get on. Once I heard you guys doing a podcast, it's always been a dream of mine to, get on an episode. So glad we were able to make it all work.
Yes, sir. We're excited. We've been watching the basketball season all year.
We've been talking Cougs all year.
We've been talking Cougs
on this episode, this pod.
We started this up just being an NBA podcast, but like we cannot go silent about this. It's been so much fun watching. It's been an awesome time.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been a special year, and we just have such a great group of guys, and just to see this community kind of rally around us as we, keep winning games. And it's, like Danny said, I've been a lifelong Coug, and there hasn't been a lot of opportunities for us to celebrate, this long or this late in the season. So it's just been super cool to be back here. So. Yeah,
finally, we're ranked number 17th in the AP poll now, and 18th in the coaches poll now. It's amazing. The last time the Cougs made the NCAA tournament was back in 2008 with Coach Tony Bennett, and we were number 4 seed. And we went to the Sweet 16, but lost to UNC against Royce Williams and them. Now, when we had Aaron Baines, but didn't have Klay Thompson on that team, surprisingly enough. So this is a long time coming. We're long overdue for this. Nothing's obviously set in stone yet. We still have the Pac-12 tournament coming up, and if am I right that this is the first time we actually get a bye in the Pac-12 tournament that we've had?
I believe so. I have to double check that one. No, at least in the Pac-12 tournament. It's only been going on for whatever.
Because it hasn't been going on that long. So you guys don't play Wednesday. So you have a bye on Wednesday, and then you'll play whoever wins on that on Thursday, right?
Yep. So still kind of up in the air if we're going to be the 2, hopefully the 1 seed. Obviously, this kind of weekend will tell, but. We're just excited. Again, we've been focused on this type of goal for pretty much the entire year. Preseason projected 10th, and that didn't quite sit right with the program. I don't think it would sit right with really anybody. But again, just a really special group of guys who've kind of rallied around the coaches and kind of rallied around this program to make something pretty special happen. So,
yeah, it's been amazing.
It's been a hell of a run, man. And big game tomorrow night, huh, Yano?
No, it's hate week.
Big one to end the year.
Oh,
come on!
No better way to send off our seniors and all that than nice game against UW. So we're excited. Hopefully, Beasley will be packed.
Hate week, Dubs down all the way.
That was a great first game when we were there.
Yeah, we were so excited when we got to see you.
That was awesome after the game.
No, that was a special one. I mean, geez, we had all the boys out there, and I think, there's probably about 30 of us, right? And sitting up, they had all the guests sitting up in Narnia up there in the the nosebleeds, but we could hear y'all, and going into overtime, and that was just such a special game from kind of start.
Oh, we were loud for sure. We were not. We were not going quiet. It was definitely a nail biter, but
got the photo with Yaki.
We got a photo with Yaki on the court. That was so much fun.
That was sick, man.
Obviously, we got a photo with you too, which was amazing with all the boys there.
Yeah.
We waited forever. It was worth the wait afterwards. Our adrenaline was going fucking crazy. Oh man. It was a good time.
Awesome.
Great time to be Coug. Yeah.
Very memorable game.
Yeah.
Yano, being, director of basketball operations, that's amazing. Tell us kind of, your backstory, kind of how this all started, what really got you into, coaching and where you are now.
Yeah, for sure. So, I guess it all kind of starts growing up. My dad went to school here in the 80s, and, just kind of grew up a Coug fan from the get-go. I think my first memory was the 2004 Apple Cup, I believe, when Trendon Harvey took a screen pass to the house in Husky Stadium, and the Cougs won the Apple Cup. And, I think that's where the love affair for the school really kind of started. And, I was a big golfer growing up and wanted to play collegiate golf, and obviously had a couple setbacks during kind of my high school career. So once I knew golf was kind of out of the picture, there was pretty little doubt on where I was going to go to school. And made the best decision of my life going to Washington State for 4 years. And started out, I was actually a student journalist for CougFan.com. So my first couple of years there, I was mostly just a football reporter, sideline deal, kind of running the Twitter and doing like in-game highlights and then writing, post-game stories for them. I did that for 2 years, and it was an awesome experience. Obviously, my freshman year was the Minshew kind of mania year, and that was crazy. And just to kind of get kind of like an insider pass to, a lot was going on that year was really special. And so, yeah, did that for 2 years. And obviously, COVID happened kind of between my sophomore and junior year, and went back to Denver because we kind of all got sent out of here, and just kind of looked around and was just like, is this really what I want to be doing? I knew I wanted to do something in sports since I was a little kid, but I just wanted to be a part of it. I loved covering it and it was cool, but I just wanted to kind of be a part of the story and instead of covering it. So I emailed at the time Nick Rolovich, the head football coach, and then of course Coach Smith, just kind of saying, hey, I'm a diehard Coug fan, just want to be a part any way I can. Is there any opportunity? And Coach Smith got back to me, and I guess the rest is history. But I started out with the team. I was our team DoorDash driver because it was COVID. So,
Yeah.
it wasn't like they were kind of welcoming any random student into the gym just because of the restrictions and all that. So my first couple months, I would, say there's breakfast pickup at Zoe's, drop it off at the guy's room, and was kind of doing that. But I was pumped, it was just like, I'm helping the team out some way, somehow. And, after that, got kind of welcomed into practice and, finished my first year just as a team manager. And then my second year got promoted to be the head team manager and was doing a lot of our kind of in-game film responsibilities, which was really cool, and got to travel with the team. And that was really special. And I don't know if you want me to keep going, but
Yeah, go for it.
graduated from Washington State and then didn't have a job for, about a month and a half after school. And I had 2 months left on my lease out here when I graduated. And I told my dad, if I don't have a job, then I wanted to be a grad assistant somewhere. And if I didn't have a job, that I'd move back home and kind of try and figure something else out. And luckily got a text from Coach Smith about a month after, and he said, hey, would you want to move down to Hawaii and go work for a buddy of mine? And I was all in. It's kind of the opportunity I was waiting for, and that was a really special year down there too. So it's been a wild, couple of years, and being the director of ops here has been so special this year. But it's hard not to look back when I was just picking up meals and kind of wasn't even a part of the program, and to now be such a special part of kind of what we're doing here, and to have responsibility and be able to impact kind of the daily operations of our team. It's been something I've been dreaming about since I was a little kid, and watching the 06, 07 years, 07, 08 years, when we were making tournament runs and just seeing what basketball could really do for this community. It's just been so special to be a part of it this year.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing story, man. And obviously it hits different, like being down in Pullman during the same time you were, and kind of seeing how that all, especially with WSU athletics, is going left and right, and just seeing it going up and down, and now just seeing where we're at after all that is just, it's still a wild thing to me.
No, from start to finish this year, I think I was getting hired back here right when the conference kind of realignment stuff broke. So it's been a crazy year, and I'm just happy we're still winning games, and got a lot of goals that we can't reach, on the horizon. But
yeah, real quick, I want to talk about. So you left those. I want to talk about the team that you last had before you left to Hawaii, because there's only two guys that you have familiar faces with after a year being gone, and that's Yaki and Miles Rice. And Miles Rice obviously didn't play because he had cancer for a while, and he beat that. Now he's absolutely fucking balling. But F.A. Albigidi, he went to G League Ignite, and then you got Tyrell Roberts going to San Francisco. Koulibaly went to SMU. TJ Bamba to Villanova. DJ Rahman to USC, who got an earful on when he came back to Palouse last week, which was
nice warm welcome. Nice warm welcome.
Nice warm welcome. Michael Flowers graduated. Matt DeWolf graduated. Rap obviously went to Hawaii with you, and then Noah Williams went to enemy territory, obviously, and so. Yeah, it's just, that's crazy and then Mohamed Gay obviously getting drafted to the Atlanta Hawks, cannot let that go unseen. It's just crazy to think that only two guys are left when you come back from Hawaii here, and it's a whole new team.
No doubt. I think going kind of back to that team, I think that team really kind of started the whole love affair for kind of being a part of college athletics for me. My first year, as you can probably tell from the story, it was a grind. You know, I wasn't really a well-known name in the program. I was just kind of someone who showed up for practices, and you know, that locker room was so special that year. And you know, we didn't end up kind of reaching the goals we wanted to, but it was such a family atmosphere from the walk-ons like Will Burkhart and Matt DeWolf to the
Yeah.
guys who were playing 30 plus minutes a game. We were such a great group together, and I'm fortunate that I'm able to keep up with a lot of those guys. Getting happy birthdays for them, checking in, and they're doing such amazing things. Post kind of that year that it's hard not to be a fan for them now. And it was just such a special time there. And again, meet my boy Rap. We got to do an extra kind of victory lap in Hawaii last year, and it's those are just lifelong kind of friendships I'm gonna have forever, and just super appreciative of that for sure.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to become good friends with Rap as well in finance. Actually, out of all things, a group project that actually went well with me, him, and Patio. And so I also
Now,
was lucky enough
I'm
to.
sure. I'm sure you were doing a lot of the academic lifting there. I know my boy Rap pretty well,
Oh,
and he likes to flaunt that he was the academic student of the month.
we will
Um,
never forget.
you
Oh my
know,
gosh,
I, I
ask Patty
I have a
about
lot of
that.
questions about who makes those decisions around the athletic department. So I'll keep that back.
You got to ask Patty about that sometime, about that group project that those three did.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could
no
eat.
doubt.
Yeah, easily exactly what you said happened.
Yeah, yeah. Love my man Rap. Love my man Rap. But
I
we
love
all
All
know
love
him too
brotherhood,
well.
man. Yeah, I had the opportunity to go visit Rap and Yano in Hawaii last year,
Yeah.
and that was a great time, dude.
Special times. No,
Yeah,
that was a great time.
those are great. It's
Great time.
brotherhood, man.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Um,
No
not
doubt.
necessarily a wazoo question, Yano, but more of like a coaching question. With all this experience you've been gaining, what coaching opportunities have you been given? Have you been going to like conferences for coaching? Have you been given other opportunities because of your status where you are at now to further improve yourself and learn from other great minds?
Yeah, I think, I've been really fortunate to work for just a couple of amazing staffs, ever since I was a manager. And kind of the first person who kind of welcomed me with the coaching staff was our associate head coach, Jim Shaw. And part of my responsibility my senior year was we do something called points allowed, which basically we kind of, do game review and just kind of see our defensive flaws for each game, each practice. And yeah, I mean, he's a vet. He's been to 20 plus NCAA tournaments. He's coached 30, 40 plus NBA players. So, I was very fortunate just to kind of have him as a mentor and kind of just learn at least the defensive side of the ball. And that was really cool. Kind of, again, just as a manager, not even as a coach, just, and a guy with, again, I don't have a super strong basketball background. This is only my fourth year really in the industry. So I'm still learning a lot, and I still got a long way to go to, hopefully reach my dreams of, coaching one day or being a head coach one day. But as in like events and stuff, went to the Final Four last year, and that was really cool just to be able to connect and kind of listen into a lot of people who are down there. I call it the coach's spring break because, it's just kind of our time after the year to kind of all get together. And of course, two of the biggest games of the year are going on with it. So everybody just wants to be around basketball. And that was a really cool experience just to, shake some hands and kind of pick the brains of, a bunch of head coaches around the country. So that's been really cool. I think as operations, I handle a lot of just kind of what's going on daily. Not a lot of what I'm doing right now is necessarily coaching, but again, with our staff, they're so supportive and they know what goals I have. So, any pockets of time that I'm able to sit in on a film review or, kind of just pick the brains of kind of like our scouts and stuff like that and our game plans for each game, I've tried to take advantage of every opportunity that I can there. And, it's a lot of the stuff right now, I got to kind of do it on my own, which is great just because, my responsibilities aren't necessarily to draw up the X's and O's. But again, I'm just surrounded by so many, supportive coaches that, want to help me on my journey. And I know I'll have those relationships for a long time. And, I just kind of see where this thing all goes. But
Yeah.
It's a special group over there,
Yeah, definitely.
and we're rolling because of it.
Speaking of Rap, real quick, I was fortunate enough to go see him play see Hawaii play at UC Davis last week, which was awesome. So I
Oh,
got to go
nice.
see him. I talked to
Yep.
him. I asked him a few questions that he wanted me to ask for you as well.
All right.
One, kind of just talking about Hawaii in general. He wanted to just ask about the Hawaii year, and I didn't know that Coach Smith sent you. That's actually even cooler to find out.
Yeah.
How did that help you? And just talk about your Hawaii real quick.
Yeah, I think again, just with not a lot of experience, kind of even going down to Hawaii, I really just wanted the main reason I wanted to be a grad assistant, as I knew I was just another year of high level kind of education and being a coach. And I went down there. I remember I landed on a flight probably around like 6 o'clock. I got dinner with the coaching staff, or most of the coaches, to kind of welcome me, and then we had 6:30 weights in the morning and just kind of hit the ground running. So. It was a really special program. We had a really special year last year too. Of course, winning the Diamond Head Classic was a memorable thing, and especially in the fashion we did with Jovan McClanahan hitting a three with we got the ball with 4 seconds left, dribble down the court and hits a three to win it. And I think we were down like 12 with 8 to go. It was just such a roller coaster of a game, and beat Washington State to advance to the finals. So, it's just that was crazy in itself. And now looking back on it, it's like, geez, like can't believe I was, rooting against these guys for one game last year. But it was a really cool year, and that staff down there is amazing. And want to give a quick shout out to Coach Montgomery and Coach Brad Davidson. It was really a family. They really talk about just the family culture of Hawaii that we want to kind of represent that on the court. And those coaches down there do such a great job of, making sure that our locker room understands that, or our, the Hawaii locker room understands that. And it was just a really fun year. Obviously, it was tough at the beginning. I'm sure Rap would probably say the same thing. First couple months, we didn't really know or anybody else down there. I only really knew Rap, and I had never even lived by water before in my life. So, it was just such a culture change. It was such a, first time really living on myself and, taking care of just myself. I didn't have any roommates. I didn't have any family down there. So, it was a struggle for sure at the beginning. And I just got to give a lot of credit to, again, the players and the coaches for welcoming me into, their family and allowing me to grow, because it was a big year of growth. And I basically, once the season wrapped up, our director of ops at Hawaii took the director of operations job for the Big West Conference. So he got a massive promotion, Dominic Drury, and I was kind of, he was my big mentor down there. I would not be able to do what I do now without, a year with him, and just kind of learning. I mean, he'd been a director of ops, I think, for 3 years, but had been in the program Hawaii for 5 years or something like that. And just to see a true vet, a guy who knows how to get things done. And as operations, you're just the person that you need to be relied upon to, have the answers for everybody and make sure everything's set up for everybody. So just to see how he did it, and just to see how him doing it at such a high level impacted our season. We won 23 games and had one of the best seasons in Hawaii history. That was really cool. So when he left, I was kind of the person who kind of had to fill in for him. And I got about 3 months of really good experience, just kind of being, kind of an interim director of ops and handling a lot of the daily operations, after our season, kind of for the summer months. And I planned to help plan a foreign tour to Japan, the recruitment side of things, getting guys back, and like summer ball and all that stuff. And, it's just really, I'm just really blessed to be able to have that opportunity to learn. And of course, kind of led me into this job, which, again, I would not be able to do this without kind of that experience and those people. So.
That's crazy. That's an awesome that you got the interim job just to do that. So you kind of already knew what you're doing when you come over here right away, coming back to Wazoo, and it's a little bit different job than the manager that you were doing. And then, just obviously it's a full year of just going out there in the deep water, just figuring it out. It's like, it's kind of crazy.
Literally, and to think how that team did too. Like to think how that team did too, how you guys did, that year you were there. It's gotta be pretty special too.
Yeah, I mean, we went into it. We knew we had a bunch of returners. We had a lot of leadership, especially like most of our starting five was coming back that year, and obviously came up a little short, but it accomplished some great things for that program. And it was just such a special year. So,
absolutely. Okay, one more question from Rap. So this is what he said. He said, I heard there was an incident down at the China Walls, and do you care to comment on that?
I was just about to bring this up. I knew he'd bring this thing up. Yeah, all right. So we were at a beach. I can't remember what time of year this was. I want to say it was like during the summer or something. And we were just at a beach hanging out. And we travel on moped. So,
Yeah.
we drove all out there on the moped, and on the way back, heading back to home, there's this place called China Walls, which any Pullman person, it's kind of like the cliffs, but you're not jumping into, a river, you're jumping into the ocean. So,
Yeah.
so a little bit of a step up, maybe not as high a jump, but um, I didn't really want to go. I was kind of drained, and I was like, I just want to go home and just chill. And no, me, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a terrible swimmer. Terrible. Again, I did not grow up around water. Like, I don't think any neighborhood I lived in had a pool. So, like, swimming's never been my thing. And obviously, I don't quite have a swimmer's body either. So, I was very hesitant to just jump into the deep ocean. But anybody who knows Rap, he's a very good peer pressure guy. So,
Yes, he is.
we got to kind of walls, and I ended up jumping in, and I told him from the beginning. I said, I'm jumping in, I'm getting right back out. The jump is the least of my worries. Like, I'll do the jump 10 times out of 10. It's when we get out there is when I know I'm going to struggle. So we jump in, and it's tough because there's massive waves coming the whole time. The whole time you're coming. So it's not like it's just an easy get out of the pool, steady water type deal. You're battling the waves, you're getting moved around. And, I was floating around there, for a couple minutes, just, on my own, and felt like I was doing good. And we had an opportunity to kind of like ride a wave to get up to, climbing out there. So I remember I was like, just get me out of here, get me out of here. So I'm trying to climb up the wall. All of a sudden, this massive wave starts coming, knocks me off. I do like a 360 in the air back into the water. And that's when life really started to set in. I was like, oh no, like what I get myself into? Like, I'm dying out here, like 100%. So I looked at Rap, and I said, and we had Harry Ruliadef, his roommate at the time, with me, and I was just like, hey, get me the fuck out of here. Like, we're not fucking around. I'm not, like, this is serious yawns right now. Get me out of here right now. So they like swim over to me, and they're like holding me up, and I'm like egg beating whatever it is, like trying to stay afloat. And we were out there, I want to say it felt like 10 years, but probably like another, couple minutes, 5 minutes or so. And he's like, Rap's like calling people from the rock, like, hey, we need help getting this guy out of here, getting this guy out of here. And more of the story, I ended up getting out, thankfully, and I couldn't move my legs. Like, I climbed up to the rock, and I think I laid there for like solid couple minutes because I was gassed, I was out of shape, my legs were jello, like it was just miserable. So shout out to Ryan Rapp for bringing that story up, because I know how much I love telling that story. So
that's hilarious. Yeah, I had no idea what to expect when he told me to ask that. So that's great context. I love that.
Now that when you said Rap had a question for you, like for me, I should have known better. I should have known better.
I love
Historic
it.
experience.
Historic.
No doubt. But, no, good times.
Let's talk more about this year's team. A couple new faces on the team, but it seems like they've all, blended really well together, and they're all playing really well. The whole team across the board has been really impressive. Isaac Jones, Jalen Wells. I mean, you can go through the whole roster. Everyone's been playing really well this year.
Like, more on so for the fact of where these guys came from in the first place. Jalen Wells out of Sonoma State and D2 college. Isaac Jones across the border of Idaho from U of I. And then you have Oscar Clough from Coochie State. I don't even know where that's at.
Yeah, Coaches.
Yeah.
Coochie State. I need to borrow that one. I need that one. He's like kind of my neighbor. He lives in the apartment building next year. I might need to knock on the door and tell him that's where people think he's from.
Aussie.
Exactly. Oi.
Ruben from the NBA Africa Academy, and then Isaiah Watts, freshman out of here, the West Seattle area, and I cannot pronounce Hwantsu.
There you go. Yeah.
Right? Oh, sick. Okay, I was going to butcher that for sure.
Yeah, all good.
But, out of France and the Johnny Parker Academy out there, it's just like one in a time, especially with this conference realignment stuff, the new NIL deal stuff in college basketball, a time where it's really hard to recruit. You guys find a dime a dozen of people from all over the world and made this outcome out there, like getting almost an entire new team. It's insane, with Yaki being obviously the one veteran there technically, with Miles technically taking his first year finally. And so just kind of talk about like Well, you kind of already talked about it coming back from Hawaii. That's how new that was for you. But like just in general, just talk about this team for this year so far.
No, yeah, I mean, I'll never forget the day. I got a text from Coach Smith. I think it was like a Thursday, and we were about ready to take a team retreat. Wow, to Kauai that we would do once a year at Hawaii, which was really special. And it was like Thursday, and we were leaving Friday afternoon. And he texted me Thursday night. It's like, "Hey, call me in the morning." And I was like, Smith, he'd check in every once in a while, but I was like, what's this guy talking about? It's August right now. Like, is he checking in on rap? Like, what are we doing? So woke up early because I was kind of, antsy about it. And, I love Coach Smith. He's awesome to work for. And he called me and was just like, we shot the shit for a little bit. And he was just like, hey, get right to it. I need a director of ops. And, do you want to do it? And obviously, dream opportunity to do it. And it didn't have to really think too much about it. I think I told him yes on the spot without even talking to my parents or anything.
Yep.
I was like, I'm finding a way. We're doing this.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I moved out there. I think I moved like 8 days later or something like that. It was a hectic week, and I spent a week in Seattle with you boys, and that was awesome. And it was, that was so special. A phone call I'll never forget for sure. But going back to the team, I mean, I just got to give a ton of credit to our staff. I would love to take credit for recruiting these guys and just saying that, I knew every pocket of the world to get these type of players. But I think that just goes a lot to show just what type of coach Coach Smith is, and also just, the coaches that he hires around him, like Jim Shaw I mentioned. Wayne Hunter was a big influence on, Jalen Wells getting out here. Obviously, I think everybody kind of knows the story with Isaac Jones and Coach Harden. How they've kind of gotten almost the whole college experience. They have gotten Isaac's whole college experience together. And it's just such a special group. And I think one of the main things that I noticed right when I got here was just how well connected all these guys were. And it's so cliche. I think every coach is going to say it, but I think even our fans are starting to see it, this late in the season, just how well a group these guys gel together. It's not your, big time NIL, number one in the transfer portal. We didn't really get those guys. We got a lot of guys that kind of fit the mentality of this university, as an underdog, the we filled underdog mentality. And again, we were picked to finish 10th in the league. And I knew once we saw that and just kind of see the reaction of our guys, like, we got some dogs here. We got some guys that aren't going to go 30 games without a fight. And, just a really special group. And, they're all unique in their own ways. Jalen Wells is a silent killer. He's not the most animated guy. You can almost barely get a conversation out of him. And when you get a laugh out of him, it's, you won the day. But, he's just built for the big moment and just never seems, phased by really anything. I mean, that Arizona game, it was, him with 2 shots at the line. I don't feel like we'd feel like more confident with anybody else up there. And I just remember his face. He, just, acted like it was like shooting a game to finish off a game of 21, at the rec. You could have never told or never thought that guy was, hitting a couple big shots to beat, a top 5 opponent on the road. And, Isaac Jones, just what a special individual. I mean, just one of the nicest guys I've ever met in here. And he's so mature, and he's such a special talent. And his story is so incredible, from being a junior college guy and having a hell of a year. I mean, I know Washington State tried to get him going into last season, and that kind of fell through. And then, fortunately, we were able to get him this year. And, he's my vote for Conference Player of the Year. I
Absolutely.
just don't think when everybody's sending 3 guys to guard him, it's hard to put up massive numbers, but there's a reason they're sending 3 guys. So, I think anybody who's watching the game knows that guy has a huge impact on, everybody else having success too. And he's such an unselfish player that, he's not that superstar. He's like, oh, I'm going there to get 30, he wants to win. And, that's something that really can't be taught. It's something that, speaks a lot about the individuals that we have. Isaiah Watts, my guy. I mean, I'm not from Seattle, but everything I've heard of West Seattle, he's a perfect model for it. I mean, one of the most confident guys that, I've been able to come across in these past 4 years. And I mean, he's a sharp, he's just never afraid of the moment. And I guess, everybody kind of saw that against the USC, during the USC game. Hit some big shots, had some big times. And, he's our spark plug. He's the light bulb of the program. He's the guy every day just getting everybody juiced to go. And, me included, there's a lot of days where I'm, struggling or stressed or just trying to figure it all out. And just to be able to walk into a gym and have someone like that who's just, he's getting the best out of everybody. And, again, that's so important. And not last but not least, we've got a whole bunch of guys, but Miles Rice, I mean, the one guy, him and Yaki, I guess I'll talk about Yaki too, but, Rice was a redshirt my senior year. So, the managers and the redshirts sit right next to each other. So he was, my buddy during every single game. And, during that NIT run, I'll never forget that with him. And, the BYU fans chirping at us, and, he's got my back, and, we made that special run. And, and then of course last year, I think that was right when I was getting started at Hawaii, and got, a text from Ethan Kramer, actually our equipment manager, just saying, hey, might be, a good time to check in with Miles. He just got diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and that was heartbreaking just because I couldn't tell you Miles Rice was going to be the freshman of the year or anything, but I knew the kid was good. And just seeing how he approached it, and just seeing his confidence too in himself. And those are just the guys that you'd bet 10 times out of 10 they're going to get the best of whatever they have. And he's having such a special year too that we wouldn't be in the situation we are without him either. And then I guess the last guy I'll talk about is just Andre. And fortunately I've been able, I think I didn't pick him up from the airport, but he was one of the first people I met when I started with the program. And that freshman class was just, you had Efe, you had Bamba, you had Koulibaly, you had Carlos Rosario, you had Andre and Deshaun. You had 6 of the top, or 5 of them were like the top 15 recruits of all time in program history. It was really the statement class that kind of got all this thing started. And just to see how he's grown, just as, kind of from a bird's eye view, he's the guy we know where we're getting out of Dre every single day. He's not the loudest guy. He's not going to be the one who's going to, be super raw, but he's going to give the same effort every single day. And I think that's just an example for all of our guys. We do have a lot of inexperience at this level. Going into the year we did, not a lot of guys had played Pac-12 games, and to have someone like Andre who had been there, kind of done that, and just the way he approaches the daily life of, what it takes to be a student athlete at the Division I level. It's, another guy that without his leadership, I'm not sure we're here in, the situation that we are.
Yeah. I still remember that the day that we found out that Miles had cancer. That was actually weird because it was right after the Oregon State football game at Wazoo. Me and my buddy Key met Miles and Deshaun in the crowd, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're freshmen here. Like we're here to play basketball." And so he's such a homie. I was probably not in the right mindset at the time, but in student section of the football game. Yeah, exactly. And then just seeing the news immediately break on when he posted about us, and then he got cancer, and I was like, wow, I was really excited. I was like, after having so many years with finally getting to go back to see basketball again in the stadium. It was like it was our senior year, so we didn't have that much the year before, and so it was very heartbreaking, and it was great to see him do that. And then obviously Yaki, I met Yaki with Rappa. That's how I first met him, and it was actually really cool that his family came out. Well, everybody who has dad made it to the U.S. for the first time this last for the USC game and the UCLA game. That was really awesome to see, and he balled out in the first one for sure.
Yeah. No, he's a warrior, and obviously he's been kind of going through, a little bit of an injury, but he'll be fine. And I know it's super special having those people out here for him. Like you said, first time his family's been able to kind of see, where he's been at the past 4 years, and to kind of experience his community, and just to, experience life over here. And, they're awesome. They've been here for about a week. His girlfriend's she came out for a couple months at the beginning of our year this year, and, she's back here too. So I know in senior day, of course, we're honoring Isaac. Ben Olson, one of our walk-ons, who's a special part of, our scout team and kind of what we do daily. And AJ Rahosia, another guy who's kind of right there with Ben. But I hope we give the biggest, congratulations to Yaki for, it's so rare you see someone stick around for 4 years, especially this kind of day and age of college basketball. And, he almost left, almost went to Loyola. I think that was between his sophomore year, and then we brought him back, for my senior year. And, just to see how he's turned and developed into such a key part of this is, I'm one of his biggest fans. I appreciate what that kid has done for our program. So,
yeah. In the words of Klay Thompson, once a Coug, always a Coug, and I will always be a Coug. I'm so glad to see him there. Real quick on the talking about the Wheatfield underdogs, I'm in love with whoever the marketing is for WSU in general the last year. Because first you had it in football last year of Cougs versus everybody. And I've been saying that so much, and I've been continue saying it to this day. Cougs versus everybody, especially with the whole conference thing. But Wheatfield underdogs, that's like you said, you got that stomach in your feeling, the feeling in your stomach of saying that you're going to be the 10th best team in this Pac-12 conference. And you're like, you know, obviously it's different because you know the guys you got behind the screen. And I was actually, I was like high on the team because who actually hasn't really got many playing time this year is Joseph Yusefu because he was a 4-star out of Kansas, right?
Yeah, he had an injury.
That's what it was. Okay,
I must have 4 games right after we kind of got back from our MTE out in Connecticut, and he's he'll be out for the year. But hopefully I'm not breaking news there. I think that's already.
We're honored if that's the case.
Maybe we X that out of the podcast so Smith doesn't chew me out. But I know Joe fully plans on coming back here next year, and good. We had Joey. I mean, again, there's not a day I don't think the Cougs are coming out on top. But if we had Joey, it would have been a great depth piece, or even he started games for us. So I think now that people understand the team we have, it's a pretty quality player that we're going all this without. So I love Joey. He's rehabbing right now, but he'll be with us for this kind of postseason run.
That's awesome.
Exciting team, an exciting year. We're looking forward to seeing tomorrow night's game and Pac-12 tourney next week. Man, we're special time. I keep saying it, man, but it's a special time in the Palouse right now, man. Coug Hoops is it right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this last kind of homestand was just so special, just to hear that place rocking, and it's I love our students, love our fan base, but for a lot of our conference games and our non-conference home games, we weren't drawing great crowds, and you would look up 30 minutes before tip, and it's like, all right, damn, is this all that's coming? Like, is this all we're is this everybody that's following us? And there'd be a lot of spots that were kind of missing in the lower bowl, and it was a little deflating, not gonna lie, just because we believed in each other since day one, and we were just kind of waiting for everybody else to kind of jump aboard. And I'll never forget the USC game. I know Bronny's there, but I want to say it's because we're a ranked team or whatever. But
absolutely.
They opened the doors an hour before, and people are running to the student section, like trying to claim their spots. And you look up 30 minutes before, the lower bowl is almost full, and it's just like, oh, like this is sick. Like this is awesome. Like this is why you play college basketball, and this is why I want to be a part of college basketball, is for crazy atmospheres, and atmospheres that get you juiced up and fired and ready to go. And we've played against a lot of opponents on the road, like Colorado and Utah and Arizona, where it's just like we felt that in the opposite direction. Arizona was one of the loudest places I've ever been in my life, and
in the zoo, it's massive.
You kind of have the opposing viewpoint of it, just like, geez, this is draining. Like every shot they hit, they're going crazy. Everything, they're standing up when we go on an 8-0 run, to try and get their guys going. And it's something that this past weekend was just so special to have that for us this time. And had 2 of our best crowds in past 16 years, and I think it was the largest total in a weekend, like a home series weekend, that we've had in a very long time. So unfortunately we only got one left. Let's make the best out of it, and I hope that place is packed tomorrow. I don't know what else we got to do. We got UW in town. We've got a team that's ranked. We got a team that's contending for a regular season conference championship, and contending to do greater things after that. I just hope. I know spring breaks the week after, and people are going to try and get out of town, but any way we can keep people here, and just make that place an absolute frenzy tomorrow. It helps us out a lot, and we've got players that thrive off of that. I don't know if there's another player in the world other than Miles Rice and Isaiah Watts that they hit a big shot. Another one's coming, because they feel it. They just feed off that energy, and that's what makes this thing all really special to be a part of.
Yeah, man. Cougs help Cougs, man. At the end of the day, so if you're a Coug and you're able to get your ass down in Beasley tomorrow, you better be there.
Put Beasley on the map, baby. Come on.
It's your civic duty as a Coug to go against Hate Week, and first of all, and it's just massive. And real quick, talking about like the atmosphere of Arizona. So next year's going to look a little different, and an atmosphere that I'm very fond of is growing up a Spokane guy is Gonzaga, which you guys will be playing the WCC next year. The Kennel is a massively loud place too. Do you know, or you look forward to what the WCC looks like next year?
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to probably, the one once I heard the pack was kind of dissolving, it was
Yeah.
all I grew up on, watching Pac-10 basketball. And, I remember having my first surgery, my brainstem surgery when I was 7. And, I was kind of going through it. I didn't really know what was going on. But, I remember my dad, he was like, hey, Washington State's got Stanford. I'll get it on the TV for us.
Yeah.
And, it's been so special. Like all these teams, they're all foes, but it's been such a great conference to be a part of and just to follow. And, it's sad to see it going to an end. But, WCC is WCC. There's some great teams in there. And obviously Gonzaga is a big draw. And I've been chomping at the bit to try and, hopefully they're on our schedule next year, on their schedule next year. And, for a while they didn't want to play us because they didn't think it was a quality game. And I think, that carries, that went into the program. And like, people heard that, we want our chance at them for sure. Cause, we're fully confident that, we got a team that can run the state. And, we've kind of been their little brother for X amount of years. But, even back in like the Bennett years, we handled Gonzaga, when we had teams here, we had a lot of success against them and some big wins, even when they were ranked. So, there's still exciting opportunities to, to come next year with all that. And I think, for right now, we have a staff that we're very much like stay in the moment and, one game at a time. So, that will come when it comes. But for now, we just got to keep putting everything we have into the next day and just kind of stay, locked in on the moment. And obviously it gets harder and harder. That was kind of the one thing when, people did start to follow us and, you see it on Twitter and all this stuff, there's a lot of distractions around their program with, our success. And Coach Smith talks a lot about, handling success and the importance of that because, can never get too high, can never get too low. And again, as cliche as it sounds, it's true. And it's very hard to get too high. And we kind of saw that a little bit against Arizona State and kind of got a taste of, our medicine there. And, it's been a year of kind of learning lessons, not only me in my professional career, but, as the team's kind of gone along, we've had such great leadership from our head coaches and our assistant coaches that, I just feel really confident that we've got a group that can really make a run here and, have one of the most special years in, Washington State history.
Absolutely. Kind of talking about that Gonzaga. So a lot of people don't realize that Gonzaga was actually WC's first rivalry before UW. So they started playing Gonzaga back in 1907, and they didn't start playing UW until 1910. Yeah. And Cougs lead the Gonzaga versus WSU series all time, 98-50. So
come on.
Yeah. We handled. Hey, those early like 1910 to 1950 Coug teams, they were not to be messed up.
They were good.
We got a national championship in 17. So
yep, exactly. So don't count us out.
100%. We got the history. Right, bring it on. I mean, the Kennel. I mean, it's almost now a historic place to have a college basketball game now, and just kind of the environment they've created is something that I hope the Palouse can kind of rally upon with this team and for future teams to kind of match that, because again that's such a big part of playing on the road or playing at home is when you have that atmosphere. It's it can give you a boost. So
hour 45 north
get there and it's they're crazy. They're camping out before games and we haven't quite reached that level yet. I think we're run out of time, but maybe next year we can get some tents out there on the Sky Bridge or something.
Absolutely.
And, start making that a party. That can be the exchange, little beta Pi-Fi exchange at the Beasley Walkway.
The Beasley Walkway. I love it. I'm a Spoken Night guy, so I mean, it's kind of different for me because growing up on Gonzaga success versus not growing up much on Cougs success growing up. But I'm a Coug first, no matter what. So I'm 100% Cougs fan over Gonzaga basketball any day of the week. But like I was at the last time Gonzaga played WSU down in Beasley, which was 2016 was the last time these two teams played.
I think Washington State won that game, right?
What's that?
Yeah, it was a close game towards the end, I want to say.
It was close until the end, and then Gonzaga went away with it. I think DeMontis Sabonis was on that team, if I remember right.
Probably don't remember it because, don't need to remember those losses.
It was an empty Beasley back then. And before, I mean, at least in my time in college, the only game I ever remember packed in Beasley was Klay Thompson's retirement ceremony versus Oregon State, which I was also one of the people there at 5 a.m. because I wanted to see Klay, a huge Klay fan. But but that was obviously for a big reason. You see his number up there every single night you play in Beasley. Huge moment. But the fact that we have a packed Beasley for 2 games in a row now, and now we're hope. I mean, it better be packed tomorrow night. Knocking on wood, but it's just it does bring a different atmosphere to the game. And like you said, the players, it really matters. They show up. Like when you hear a Cougs stand rant going for them, it pipes you up completely.
Yeah, no doubt. I got a funny story about the Klay Thompson jersey retirement. That's actually the only game in my 4 years that I missed. And
Really?
I'm still a little butthurt about it, to be honest, just because, I know there's a lot of Coug fans out there that want to claim Clay, but I was watching him when I was younger. I can remember.
Yeah,
I remember his 40-point game against Baylor in the Diamond Head Classics. Like, the list goes on and on. So,
2 43-point games.
I felt like I deserved to kind of be there. But I was an orientation counselor for the school going into, that summer was going to be when I was going to be an OC. And we had like a orientation counselor retreat for I think it was that night or something like that. Oh. I didn't even get to watch the game. I think my dad recorded it for me and sent it to me or something. But I remember watching the game the day I got home, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Me and Robbie Schroeder were the ones trying to get people to stand up when we were in Oregon, our sophomore year. I've gone through all the battles, tried to do my part in it. And it's this is a game I get to miss. Come on now.
Absolutely, dude. Oh my gosh. I still remember my senior year when those last few games in Pullman or in the Pullman in 2022. And I was chilling for Will and Rappa coming out the bench. I was going absolutely insane just for them. And I think Will hit a three super late in the game. I think it was against Oregon, but
Oregon. Yep, senior day. I was on CBS too. That was national game.
Yep.
We boat raced them. I mean, we ran them out of our gym, which that felt pretty good. I'm not the biggest Oregon fan, so
I don't think any of us are. Yeah. I have one more question that has nothing to do with the Cougs, actually. Because you said you're from Colorado, right?
Yep, Denver. Like I said,
there's a very well-renowned freshman, Cody Williams, coming out of Colorado there, and then his brother's on my favorite NBA team, the Jalen Williams and the Thunder. So I wanted to see, especially having the idea of getting to play against Cody Williams this year. We won that game, and so I was going to see your thoughts on basketball coming out of Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was a big golfer, so I didn't play AAU or anything like that. But I know, Colorado's had a lot of special talents. Going back, I think kind of the first person I remember coming out of Colorado was Derek White, and his story for multiple reasons, it's a lot like Jalen Wells, D2 kid who went to UCCS and then transferred to CU, and obviously he's having an amazing pro career. And then going back to kind of the Williams brothers, we played against it's Jalen, right? Jalen Williams. Mm-hmm. He was at Santa Clara when we played him in the first round of the NIT my senior year. Yeah. So I've gotten to see kind of both of them kind of front court, and obviously they're both very special talents. And there's a reason Cody's climbing up draft boards, and he's probably his last year at Colorado, and he's got bigger plans next year. And unfortunately, we only had to face him once, and we did a pretty good job on him. But no, I got a lot of pride for Colorado. A big Nuggets guy. I don't follow them a ton right now just because the season's kind of hectic. But some playoffs, definitely that's the team I go for. And to see them win a championship last year, and it's not the most. Probably Seattle's a little bigger basketball city. It's not really known for basketball, but I know that there's a lot of pride for people from Colorado supporting Colorado teams, and I'm not super one of them. I only really root for the Avalanche and the Nuggets. I'm a big Hawks guy, a big Mariner guy, but I know there's a lot of passion down there for it, and it's cool to see anybody from Colorado, especially from Washington, or anywhere I meet someone from Colorado. It's nice to have a connection with the 303, and again, we got a lot of pride out there for sure.
There you go.
Before we wrap up, Yano, I know this is an NBA/basketball podcast, but I just want to hear your thoughts on the M's this upcoming season really quick.
I'm pumped. Again, I'm a very diehard fan for all my teams, and I to be honest, the Mariners might rank above the even Coug basketball. I've followed them forever. I remember one of my first Christmas gifts was a VCR tape of the 1995 season for the Mariners, and obviously any Mariner knows how special that was. And I remember I used to watch that on loop, and of course, favorite player. I grew up playing baseball, and I was second baseman, center fielder. I batted like I was a lefty, so I did the Ichiro, little jersey tug. I did it all. So big Mariners guy. I'm a big fan. I was one of those guys. Everybody early in the off season was kind of like, what the hell are these guys doing? But I've got faith in Dipoto, and bring it. Luke Raley is like, I loved him last year. I'm pumped that he's playing for the Mariners this year. Obviously, our rotation is, I think, the best in the league. I don't know anybody else who would like. You don't want to see us in a 7-game series because we don't have to throw 3 starters. We can throw 4 and feel completely comfortable about it. And if we stay healthy with Castillo and George, I think is going to make a big step this year, and Logan and Bryce Miller and Brian Wu and I love us this year. I mean, we're winning a World Series. Let's just do it. Let's knock that off. Cougs win the Pac-12. Let's win a conference championship, regular season, and a tournament. Let's get the Mariners to win a World Series. Let's just make 2024 just the year to remember for sports. So I'm all in. I'm hoping I can get out to a couple M's games for sure. Not only
you
to see
have a
baseball,
ticket.
but
Yeah, don't even worry about tickets. You got tickets.
Boys in the pen and the cantina. We've had some memorable nights out there too. So, I love my M's, and
we'll be on Eggers all year.
100%. You have to. But
Go M's, baby.
Go M's. I'm also a lifelong fan. Yeah, so I'm also a lifelong fan, and oh my gosh, me and Pat even talking about possibly doing it, and like kind of like this, just like an MLB podcast, and so we might make that happen too if we find time for it, because we'll be out there a lot this year.
Pat's favorite MLB team is like 30 of them, so it's hard to do. Hard to do it because he's an Angels fan one day, he's a Mariners fan, his third cousin used to be the bat boy for the Giants, so he's a big fan. It's a carnival out there is I think the best way to describe it for Patrick O'Neill, and obviously
that is the most best call I've ever heard because it is so true. Because even during the freaking Angels series this year, he still wore like a Mariners hat in a freaking Angels jersey. I'll never let him down for that. So much.
It's always. I mean, the Angels, I get it, okay, but it's also like you can't just all of a sudden adopt the Mariners. When for 4 years you're telling me, Pat, that you're just an Angels fan. Just because his uncle whatever throws BP to Trout. I've heard that story a million times.
We all.
Let's pick one. Yeah, we've all heard it. Like, let's just pick one. I'm not disappointed in you, Pat. Like, we can root for different teams, but no, I'm just giving him shit. I love him.
No, I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. Blue right there. Patty O'Neill is forever my boy Blue.
Oh man, he gets on base, baby.
I can love it, baby.
And that's the last guy that needs another beer at the pen. That's for sure.
My gosh, you have no idea.
Never seen someone get put in timeout than Patrick O'Neill.
We hope you can make it out this summer, Yano, to experience it in person.
Absolutely. Like I said, we got tickets for you.
No, appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Well, thank you for taking the time, Yano. We appreciate it. We wish you boys the best of luck tomorrow night and through the tournament all next week. We're gonna be right there with you boys, cheering you boys on, man. As always, go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Yeah, hey, just to close it out, I just do want to say, like, it's been an incredible journey for me these past 3 years, but I mean, none of it could have been done with the support that I've gotten from you fellas, from people in the fraternity here, the people around the Pullman community, my family. It's been so cool this year to come back to Pullman, not only just to be, my own kind of personal deal with, growing up Coug fan, but now being able to share it with so many people I went to school here and hearing all these stories about, this, I haven't followed basketball until this year, and, getting videos from you guys, when I'm acting like a jackass on the screen, that, it makes it so special. And, it's so cool. I mean, my mom and my sister never watched a basketball game until this year, and they haven't missed a game. And it's just on so many different levels. It's been such an incredible year for me and for this program. And I just want to thank you guys for letting me come on here, but also always want to thank you guys for your guys' continued support and kind of my journey. And, it helps me get to the level I need to be, and it's something that, I'll forever be grateful for sure.
Absolutely. We always joke around when we're watching TV. You're like, you better grab your beer when you see Yano down on one knee with his clipboard, man. It's shit's going down.
It's serious.
Every time, dude. Yeah, of course we're gonna support you no matter what, where you go. Hopefully Cougs more, obviously, but it's just been a special season. Go Cougs for life. Cougs help Cougs.
Yano, I've told you this before, man, but your whole story is inspirational, man. So just keep it up.
Keep being you, man.
Yeah. Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate y'all. Go
yes,
Cougs,
sir.
baby.
Let's get
to
Cougs.
Let's get 8 week, baby. Dubs down. Let's do it.
Yep.
Thumbs down. Yeah. Absolutely. Go Cougs. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. This is amazing.
We're signing
I'm
off.
lost for word, man.
Yep, we're signing
off. It was
Let's
great.
Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. Appreciate you, fellas. Thank you.